Over the last 50 years, the people who have had the biggest influence on the way that we structure business, and those folks who structure business have had a huge impact on the way we structure government and education as well. So over the last 50 years, I think one of the things that we've seen is that the people who've been most responsible for influencing the way that business works, and by extension the way government and education works, these are people who have really focused on optimization. We have tried to optimize our supply chains so that we can bring goods to people as cheaply as possible by sourcing them throughout the world. We have tried to optimize the wages that we pay to people so that we pay most of our workers as little as we need to for the work that they're doing. We have tried to eliminate a lot of redundancy inside of the economy. And what that has done is to allow us at some level to be able to buy goods extraordinarily cheaply and to source them from all over the place, which has been wonderful as long as everything was working well. And one of the things that the pandemic exposed is how brittle things can be when they're not working well. So immediately we began to see problems. So for example, when there was a shortage of toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic, early on people thought there was some kind of psychology explanation for it, but it turned out that the explanation really was a supply chain explanation. We had optimized toilet paper supply chains to the point where we had a separate supply chain for commercial grade toilet paper and for home grade toilet paper, and when everyone suddenly went home, we overstressed the home toilet paper network at the expense of the commercial toilet paper network, and we suddenly saw a lack of resilience. So part of what we're seeing now in people's disaffection with their prospects for the future, their concerns that they might not be able to participate in their version of the American dream, is that there isn't a lot of resilience in our economy right now, and that communities that are at the margins, who are outside of those urban areas, whose towns may rely on a single industry in order to stay afloat, those towns get hit hardest as soon as there's any kind of a shock, whether it's a downturn in the economy or a global pandemic. Those are the communities that suffer first, and when those communities suffer, younger people tend to leave those communities and move to the larger cities. And the people who live in those communities begin to feel like it's going to be harder and harder for them to be able to recover from that and to really thrive in the environment post those shocks. And I think that that's had a real negative impact